What is up, everybody? J Nell here with the next installment of From Me to You, my new video series where I can do social commentary and expand on my page beyond sports. The first video was very personal. I said the next one would be the opposite, and it is. However, it's still sports related. Couldn't help myself. Let's get into it. We just watched the BCS National Championship game last night. Congrats to 4th ranked Ohio for proving why it was a good idea to switch to some sort of a playoff system. And the topic of paying college football players came up yet again. I've talked about this a lot. Let's have this conversation together. Should we pay college football players? Let's talk about football specifically because that situation is unique. One of the things that we always tell them is, as a society, it's not about getting paid. It's not about the game. It's about your higher education. You're there to play football, but you're there to get your education, not to make money. Not quite sure that's entirely true, because although they're not there to make money for themselves, they are definitely there to make a lot of money for a lot of other people. So I've got 3 brothers, a huge family, multiple family members who played football through college. My brothers played with the intent of just using the scholarship for their education. I got a couple of cousins who played with the intent of going to the NFL. One made the Dolphins, got hurt in preseason and cut. The other one was basically getting scouted and was on the Minnesota Vikings team, but he turned it down to coach. That's what he wants to do. He wants to coach football. But anyway, the other one played arena and then ended up, and now he, for a little while, because he got 2 surgeries in college, ended up playing arena football, and now he's 8-0 in MMA competition. So he's about to go pro doing that. So I have had many of these conversations. One of the things I notice is that whether you're intending on trying to get into the NFL or if you're just there for your education, the work you put into the football program is very similar. We're talking 40 to 50 hours worth a week through training and film and other obligations they have outside of campus. They do quite a bit, social community things as well. And 40 to 50 hours worth of work on top of their school schedule. And then the players trying to get to the NFL, on top of that, they're doing more work. Now, I worked my way through college. A lot of us did. And I know we like to say, so we did it too. Why can't they do it? Da, 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 da. Yes, that's true. But you and I were not a part of an organization that made millions of dollars for our school. That's different. We like to pretend like football players are just like every other student, like they don't have a dollar amount attached to them, which they most certainly do. We all do, actually, but their dollar amounts, it's higher. It is. And that, honestly, is preparation for the real world. In the real world, depending on your skills, your dollar amount differs. That's just fact. So back to, should we pay them? It's about the education. That's what we like to tell them. Well, if they don't take it upon themselves, like my brothers, to make sure they get their education, we almost seem like hypocrites saying that. When the umpteenth player says they're majoring in communications and we all giggle because we know it's BS. We just had a scandal unveiled this past year. We already knew this was going on, but the evidence was out that a number of schools were skipping their athletes through class so they could play football. Putting pressure, the administrators putting pressure on the teachers to pass students so they can play football. We already knew this happened, but it's about the education, right? We had one of the Oregon Ducks players miss the BCS game because he tested positive for marijuana. We're talking contact high amount of marijuana. Contact high, can't play. Can't read, play ball. It's about the education, right? One of my biggest pet peeves with college football is that they do not properly prepare college football quarterbacks for the big leagues. Lately, if you've noticed, these college football quarterbacks are getting up to the big leagues and they're getting ate up, swallowed up, especially if they can run, because if they notice that they can run in college, what happens? They run. They don't try to develop them fully because it's about the win, the short victory, the win. Why? The win gets you the money. The money. College football is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They made over $7 billion this past year. The playoff system was a hit. They expect to make much, much more money from here going forward, college football. So if you think that the incentive to make sure those players play is going to change, you're being naive. I wish that we held those students. I wish we suspended players for not passing classes instead of getting contact high. But we don't. We don't. So how about we actually deal with the industry as it is? And yes, I called college football an industry. because that's what it is. Now, I said you and I are different from the players. Here's one of the reasons why. I went to theater school and I went to community college, and my program did not pay. Well, at the theater school it did. It was a theater school, but theater programs do not pay for every other activity in their school. College football does. My brother is currently enrolled in the University of Utah. He can tell you that when the University of Utah went from the MAC conference to the Pac-12, not only did the school get tens of millions of dollars to renovate the locker rooms and get new equipment, every other department at the University of Utah saw that money. The whole school got elevated. My brother can tell you the whole school got elevated. There's subdivisions of the U in other cities in Utah now. College football, the University of Utah football team helped elevate the entire school. You know, I love females. I'm girl power. I love girl sports, but female sports ain't paying for nothing. College football pays for all of them, okay? It pays for everything. That is why the incentive for those players to stay on that field, despite getting a proper education, is there. That is why we treat them like they have dollar signs attached to their backs, because they do. So should we pay them? I feel weird saying we should pay them, because deep down I do believe that your education is your honest reward. College is a privilege. However, it's not like basketball where they're one and done, but a lot of these players aren't going to stay all 4 years. My brothers did, but a lot of them don't. And if they don't get a good education because they were skipped through class, what are they going to do when their non-reading behinds get out of college? What are they going to do? So I don't think we should pay them. Some sort of incentive, an allowance of some sort would be nice. Again, it's a billion-dollar industry, and all of those billions don't actually go to the schools. There's the people who own the venues, the TV rights, they sell things there. A lot of that money goes a lot of places other than the schools. You've got coaches making millions of dollars. How does anyone actually working for the school make millions of dollars when it's about the education? I just think we need to stop lying to ourselves, to stop lying to these players. A little bit can go a long way. I got a lot of small scholarships when I was going to college, a lot of grants and things, and one of them was for like personal supplies. I remember I got like $100 a month basically, and that would be enough, honestly, for them to buy food outside of cafeteria hours, for them to not necessarily have to trade jerseys and things for tattoos. They're already getting comped free meals at restaurants in the city. They get treated like heroes from the college community, their peers on campus, the administrators and the teachers, but yet we still try to tell them that they're normal, that they're just like everyone else, that they're not there to make money for the school. That's not true. So I don't know how you would do it. I don't like to say that it's mandatory. That doesn't feel right. Obviously, the bigger schools would be able to afford more, but I don't think it should be a lot of money. If you're worried about it being an incentive to make everybody want to go to the big schools, guess what? They already want to go to the big schools. A lot of the players go to places like Utah because they can get noticed there. They can get noticed at smaller schools, so that's not going to change. A small incentive isn't going to all of a sudden make it so smaller schools can't recruit anybody. That's not going to happen. So I don't know how you would do it. The starters would make a little bit more than the non-starters. If you're not playing at all, if you're on injury or your IR, maybe you don't get anything. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like there's a way to do something small. $100 a month, $75 a month, something very small, some sort of allowance for all that they do, for putting the college finances on their back and carrying the school. Let me know your thoughts. I gotta hurry up. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Should we pay them? Should we not pay them? If so, how? How would we do it? I don't know. How? How would we do it? So talk to me. Take care and goodbye.